grass-fed beef. So, and I paid $2.99 a pound for this beef heart. So it's definitely worth looking for. If you can't find it right in stock at a store. Okay, and next are the beef neck bones, and I have not been buying these a lot lately because I haven't found any that look this good, but these looked good, so I thought I'd go ahead and get some. I do as much as I can to trim these up, but you'll see, like, that's just bone, but often there's a thick layer of fat. That's not fat right there, that white part, that is bone. But often you will see that there's a thick layer of fat on top of the bone, and you can't, there's just no way that you can get it all off. So you just have to be pretty discerning about what you buy. If you have a dog that is very sensitive to fat, like mine. And I just take off as much as I can. And I don't feed them at all if I can't get, some of the fat off. If they don't look lean, I just don't feed them at all. And as far as the moving parts, I do check to see if any of these little sawn pieces of bone are loose in the meat. And if they are, sometimes I will cut them out. But this one that I'm cutting out right now is, and this is very subjective because this is going to depend completely on how comfortable you are with your dog swallowing bones and how big your dog is. But something like that, I would not bother to cut off. I would give that to her because that's just going to be swallowed. It's probably 1.5 inches side to side, and it's perfectly fine. So, anyway, that's beef neck bones. Next is the eye of round steak. And here's an example of the fat that is hidden, because you'll see that we only see this part with very little fat on the outside, but when you take it out, you see more fat. And then look at the backside, it's so much more fattier. So more fattier. So yeah, we don't like to confess that we hide fat, but we know that nobody wants to buy fatty meat. Just take this off. And this meat is actually pretty expensive. This was $6.50 a pound. So I would feed this to my cat. And, I have small animals, so I don't really have to economize that much with feeding them. I would not be feeding this kind of meat to a big dog. But, I probably wouldn't even bother with this marbling here, but that's, it's a pretty big piece of fat. Even saying that I would bother with it is subjective, because I might if I had enough time, or I might not if I was in a hurry. So anyway, that's the most expensive thing that I bought, beef eye of round, $6.50 a pound. And this is the chicken necks, and this package is actually pretty clean, because I have bought chicken necks before, and especially if you buy them in bulk in a case, they will come with the skin fully attached, and you just have to pull it off. I can't even find one in here that has the skin on it, because they've done a pretty good job. There's one with the skin, so I would take all of that off, obviously. And there is a lot of fat on a chicken neck that cannot be removed, kind of like a chicken or beef neck. It's just in between the vertebrae, and there's marbling there, and you just do the best you can. And if you're feeding chicken necks, it's a good idea to balance out the meal with some other kind of lean meat. Also, if you just feed a meal of chicken necks, you might end up with a very crumbly poop, which is fine. I mean, it's just dry and crumbly and takes time moving through the body, but probably a good idea to feed a little more lean meat. Okay, next is chicken legs. And this is the label, Foster Farms. This was $2.99 a pound. And I'll show you my technique for taking skin off of chicken legs easily. You just grab it by the thick end. Make sure you have your fingers around the fat, and then just pull it off like that, and it just comes off. And very often you will find that chicken necks have like a blob of fat sometimes at the thick end that I do sometimes take off, but these actually look pretty lean. So I'll show you the same thing with a paper towel, and some people prefer to use paper towels. I'm not a germphobe myself, so I just use my regular towels and then just run them through the washer. And same thing. It's much easier to take these off, take the skin off of a chicken leg when you have something really dry that will grab onto the skin. There was one more in here, file here. Can't remember if I already talked about this. That was my last video. I think it was the last video, the one that I forgot to record. But anyway, this is the beef chuck shoulder. It looks kind of like stew meat, only I think it's a little even cheaper than stew meat. It's a little lower grade than stew meat, but I might not normally buy this because it's pretty fatty, and once you remove all of the fat, you end up paying, you know, as much as you normally would anyway. And it's got quite a bit of marbling there that you can't remove. For my dog, I would not feed this because it's just, there's too much fat there that can't be removed. And I know she's just super sensitive to too much fat in the diet. I mean, I just really notice her scratching more when I'm not careful about it. So, but anyway, I would not at the same time go to the trouble of removing these, you know, this marbling. I would just feed it like that. So anyway, you know, everybody has to do what they have to do in order to economize and make it as affordable as possible. And I think that's it. I think I covered everything. So I hope this has been helpful. It wasn't the definitive meat prep video, but maybe someday we'll do one of those. And it was just meant to show you how much fat I take off of meat. So I hope it's been helpful. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you again next time.